Before we start today's show, hopping into the latest Golden State Warriors news and rumors, I want to thank all of you as members of Dub Nation for getting us to 29,000 subs. Next up, an even bigger goal, 30,000 subscribers to honor the great Steph Curry. So if you want the best Warriors coverage on the entire internet, multiple videos per week, year-round, hit that red subscribe button or plug in that link at the bottom of your screen, youtube.com/WarriorsTV. Welcome into Golden State Warriors Today by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Chase Senior. Hope all of you had a phenomenal weekend. We start off with some Warriors rumors and a Bleacher Report article looking into the possibility of signing big man Mitchell Robinson. Now, obviously, this is on the table of discussion because James Wiseman injured yet again this year, and Kevon Looney set to be a free agent. And moving forward, some questions about the Warriors front court. The backcourt we know is set with Steph Curry. Jordan Poole, I think, is going to get paid this offseason, as well as Klay Thompson. But if they can fortify the front court, those forward and center spots with depth and maybe even some star power, this Warriors team could be even more dangerous. So we start off by looking at Mitchell Robinson. Could he make his way to the Bay Area, set to be a free agent? Formerly of the New York Knicks. We'll see if he goes back to New York, but I don't think they want to pay him all that much money. Bleacher Report saying this: with Kevon Looney hitting free agency and James Wiseman having played just 39 total games in 2 years, the Warriors should be on the hunt for center help this offseason. While they don't have the cap space to sign Robinson outright, a sign-and-trade deal featuring Wiseman would be an intriguing possibility. As good as the 21-year-old center could be, Wiseman has not been reliable following knee surgery and subsequent swelling that caused him to miss the entire 2021-2022 season. Robinson suited up 72 times for the Knicks this year, including 62 starts. And if you look at the on-court fit with Mitchell Robinson coming to Golden State, he'd be the perfect complement to the Warrior shooters. You don't have to worry about him getting involved offensively. He can hover around the rim, dash to the cup on some of those pick and rolls, and he's not a bad passer by any means, but defensively too, gives this Warriors defense some upside as well as a very good rebounder and very good rim protector, a high flyer, very good athlete who at this point in his NBA career, still very, very young. More from Bleacher Report on Mitchell Robinson, and then later some keys to tonight's game between the Warriors and Grizzlies. We'll see if the Warriors are able to take a 3-1 commanding lead. Make sure you stay tuned for that as well in the back half of the show. After 4 years in the league, it's clear that Robinson isn't going to develop into a real offensive threat, and in Golden State, he wouldn't have to be. The Warriors would just need to protect the rim, rebound, and roll hard to the basket, looking for lobs from Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and others. And that really is my scouting evaluation of how Robinson would be able to seamlessly come to the Golden State Warriors and fit in really nicely offensively, but also defensively. And here's the thing about Mitchell Robinson with the Warriors and him not really becoming an elite offensive player. On the Warriors, doesn't need to do that because they have elite offensive players in Steph, Klay, Jordan Poole, and some of the other complementary pieces on this roster. Now, you take a look at what Robinson's been able to do so far in his NBA career. There has certainly been some growth. There have been some flashes of brilliance, and I think long-term, what Mitchell Robinson is going to be a very good, not great, but a very good two-way player who can impact games offensively and defensively, and there's been jumps in his production, and he's also a very good rim protector, 2.5 blocks in 2018-19, 2 more in 2019-20, and then the last 2 years he's been right around that 2 blocks per game mark, but also he is a consistent contributor, rebounding the basketball, scoring the basketball in a very efficient manner. He's not going to shoot the basketball, but again, you don't need a floor stretcher at that big spot on this current team. That's also why James Wiseman is so appealing, because if he grows, if he develops, he does offer you that threat, which then gives you yet another boosted offensive superior presence on the offensive end for the Golden State Warriors. So I want to hear from you here, because this can be a controversial topic within Dub Nation because of the upside for James Wiseman. Would you trade Wiseman for Mitchell Robinson? Type Y for yes, type N for no. You're taking a chance, trading away a player who has more upside than Robinson, but up to this point, Robinson has been available a lot more. So Y for yes, N for no. I want to hear from all of you watching right now in the comment section. Now, the Warriors playoff series with the Memphis Grizzlies, it's been really exciting. We'll see what happens tonight. In Game 4 at the Chase Center, Dillon Brooks makes his return. Ja Morant might not play, but elsewhere across the NBA, these playoff series have been absolutely awesome. And if you want to bet on some of these playoff games, you can do so with our sportsbook partner, BetUS, chatsports.com/bet. Enter the promo code chat125 for a 125% deposit bonus. We have people tune into the show from all across the globe, so no matter where you are, this deal does apply for you. Now, the Warriors' historic night in the playoffs in Game 3 as this series shifted back to San Francisco. It was historic on a couple of different levels. 142 points scored, ridiculous over the course of a playoff game. 53 of 84 from the field. They shot as a team 63%. Really good from beyond the arc as well, from the three-point line, connecting on 17 of 32 shots from downtown, 19 of 21 from the free throw stripe. That's good for more than 90% and a true shooting percentage of 76.1. If you were watching this game, you saw the Grizzlies keep it close to a certain degree, right? And then if you walked away from your TV and came back even just a couple of minutes later, you're like, hold on. The Warriors are up 20, 25 points right now. That's crazy. That's how well they were clicking on the offensive end of the floor. And when they're moving like this, playing like this, they are impossible to stop, regardless of which defense they are going up against. And that theme, that topic of you walk away from the TV, you come back even if it's after a couple of minutes away from the TV. And you're like, the Warriors are up 20, 30 points. Like, that is what they did during that dynasty run. They had this capability and this ability to just turn on a switch, hit a couple of shots, change the momentum of the game, and all of a sudden, you look away, you look back, and you're like, wow, the Warriors are just putting it on the opponent. They were able to do that against the Grizzlies over the weekend. And this team is capable of going scorched earth at any moment because they have multiple different options. Steph Curry can go off. We're waiting for Klay Thompson to go off. Jordan Poole has solidified himself as one of the best players in the NBA under the age of 25. This entire playoff run, not just this series, he's been unconscious. He's been unbelievable. He has been great, and he was once again in Game 3. 27 points. Didn't care about the assists because he was making plays for himself offensively. 9 of 17 from the field and 3 of 5 from deep. Now, he was involved in controversy because of that play on Ja Morant. I don't think that Jordan Poole's play on Ja Morant was controversial. I don't think it was a dirty play because everybody's looking at that film, Zapruder style, slowing it down, and they're like, he grabbed at Ja Morant's knee. No, he swiped at the basketball, he swiped once again at the basketball, and he happened to hit Ja Morant's knee. And the action of him grabbing the knee is the same action of trying to grab the basketball to steal it away from Ja Morant on a double team. If you slow anything down, it can always look worse than it actually is. You play that in real time. You saw Jordan Poole swipe at the basketball twice. First time he nearly got it. Second time he whiffed and he hit his knee. It was also very, very weird that that type of action hurt Ja Morant's knee that bad. Morant was still really good before he exited the ball game. 34 points, 13 of 21, 4 of 7 from 3. The problem for Memphis, nobody else really showed up. They do get Dillon Brooks back. They lose Ja Morant. Morant most likely out for Game 4 because of that knee injury. What's funny, what's crazy is that the Grizzlies as a team actually fared very, very well without Morant in ball games this year. They were something like 21-2 throughout the course of the regular season. So I don't think it was a dirty play. I think it was a normal basketball play. What do you think, though? And I want you to be honest. Even if you are biased and you are a Warriors fan, did Poole try to injure Ja Morant? I for intentional, U for unintentional. I'm going U all the way. He said as much after the game. Klay Thompson basically started laughing when they asked him if he thought it was an intentional move. I don't think it was at all. As for this Game 4 matchup, going to take place 7 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Eastern. Tonight on Monday. And if the Warriors are able to win this game to go up 3-1, I think the series is all but done. Yes, the Grizzlies do have the opportunity, if they lose tonight, to potentially have 2 more games in Memphis and Grind City. We know that fan base shows out. It is a special environment. Over-under set at 224.5. The Warriors are 10-point favorites without Ja Morant, most likely. And if you want to bet on that game, once again, you can do so with our sportsbook partner, BetUS at chatsports.com/bet, promo code chat125. Few quick keys to the game for Game 4 for a Warriors victory. Grizz have been better without Ja Morant, and they happen to play really well. Now, that was with a healthy Desmond Bane, who in this series has not been the same because of that back injury, but other guys have been able to step up. Jaren Jackson Jr., going to have to do that. Dylan Brooks is going to have to play very well. A couple of other these players, like Dylan Brooks, Ja Morant out of the lineup, Jaren Jackson Jr., you get back those guys, and Desmond Bane, he's also going to have to play a lot better than what he has up to this point in this playoff series. And also, you can't let the Grizz go crazy from 3. I think that's the only chance that they have to win this basketball game, is if they did what the Warriors did in Game 3, where they went scorched earth and they just light it up. And I don't think that's going to happen. I think with the return of Dylan Brooks coming off that suspension, this crowd is going to be feeling it. They're going to smell blood in the water going up 3-1, because they know if the Warriors go up 3-1, they ain't losing this playoff series. Also, we're waiting for a Klay Thompson breakout. Could it finally happen tonight on Monday at the Chase Center? He was awesome in that first-round playoff series against Denver. He has not been good in the second-round series. And I think the Grizzlies' defense, much more athletic, a lot longer than what the Nuggets had on the defensive end of the floor. I think it's bothered Klay Thompson to a certain degree. In Game 1, there was that moment and that sequence when Dylan Brooks dove into Klay Thompson's knee. I think he's feeling it a little bit. That's why he appeared on the injury report. But we know that Klay, especially in the friendly confines in San Francisco, now at the Chase Center, formerly at Oracle, he feeds off of that energy from the home crowd. I think that could happen tonight in Game 4, and if it does, Klay Thompson breakout, he would push this Warriors advantage to 3-1 in my opinion. So before we get out of here, your predictions for Game 4. You riding with the Dubs? Are you going with the Grizz to lock this series up at 2-2? GSW for the Warriors, MEM for the Memphis Grizzlies. Get those predictions in. Appreciate all of you for making today's show a part of your day, and do not forget to subscribe for the best Warriors coverage here on the entire internet.